Hi, thanks for deciding to watch this video. In this video, I'm going to try and answer a question that is one of the most frequently asked questions I get when I tell people I'm vegan or that I'm a vegan coach. And that question is it cheaper to eat vegan or is it cheaper to eat the standard American diet? And I think a lot of vegan coaches and vegans, when they get asked this, tend to say, well, when you factor in medical bills, it's much cheaper to eat vegan. And they say that because eating vegan is so much healthier for you and can prevent and reverse a number of diseases. So there probably is truth in that overall. But to answer the question on a more immediate, like when you go to the grocery store, are you going to, when you get to the cashier, are you going to be paying more or less? I have to answer that question by saying it depends. And I hope I don't make this sound complicated because I've done a couple of takes with this video and it sounds really complicated, and it's not. There's just the factors that you have to consider are what are you eating as a non-vegan, or what were you eating before you were vegan, and what are you eating as a vegan, or what are you going to be eating as a vegan. Okay, so it's really pretty simple. I do believe that it can certainly be cheaper. I can see how it can be more expensive depending on what you were eating before. If you're eating a standard American diet that includes mostly the cheapest of cheap stuff available, like ramen noodles and items off the dollar store menu at McDonald's, then you know what I'm going to say, right? When you come over and you become vegan and start eating healthier, it may cost you more. But if you're eating things like steak and chicken legs and cuts of meat, when you come over and you become vegan, you have a good chance of reducing what you're spending, because you look at the price of a bag of beans, a 1 pound bag of beans, versus 1 pound of animal flesh or meat. And there's a significant difference there. The beans are much, much cheaper, and you can make a pound of beans go farther than you can that pound of meat. A pound of beans, maybe 2, 3, 4 meals for you when combined with other things. The way that it becomes more expensive for people, I think, is if they're already eating cheap food like ramen noodles or whatnot, and they try to buy mainly the processed vegan alternatives for what they're used to for standard American diet meals, like frozen macaroni and cheese, vegan frozen macaroni and cheese, the vegan ice creams, vegan like frozen dinners and things like that. It can add up. And, other things, nuts can be more expensive. If you think you're going to eat nuts all the time now instead of meat, well, if you're already eating highly processed meat like hot dogs and things that are on the cheaper the cheaper side of things, then it may be more expensive to do that. But I think that all in all, if I had to answer it one way or another, I would say that on average, it'll even itself out. If you decide to eat some alternatives, get vegan ice cream sometimes, but also start making your own things using grains and beans and lentils and vegetables, on average, I think it kind of evens itself out. But like I said, you can certainly make the change and reduce your grocery bill. Let's see. Ice cream made out of cow's milk, on average, tends to be a couple dollars cheaper or $1 cheaper than the vegan ice creams, on average. I think I don't eat a lot of meat substitutes, vegan meats, but I think, tofurkey, lunch meats tend to be around the same price. Um, Soy milk, if you're getting organic, that factors in whether you were before or not. Vegan milks, I think they're maybe a little more expensive, $1 or so maybe on average. So there's things like that that factor in that might make somebody think that it costs more to be vegan. But like I said, when you look into the price of meat versus the price of high protein vegan foods like beans and lentils, there's a great reduction there. So as a vegan coach, one thing I do is deal with budgets. When people come to me and they want to start eating vegan or plant strong, that's great. Why aren't you doing it now? And then we get into what kind of obstacles they're facing. And sometimes the obstacle they're facing is they believe it's going to be more expensive for them and they think they can't afford it. So I have worked with people and not only kept their food budget where it was, but I've brought their food budget, not their food budget, but the amount they spend, not only kept it where it was, but I've brought it down. So it certainly can be done, and like I said, I think that it averages itself out pretty well if you're eating some alternatives like the vegan ice cream, some, but not all the time, and eating, more healthy whole food in between. So like I said, that's the healthier way to do it anyway. It's not healthy to go out and just eat, canned vegan soups and vegan ice cream and the vegan meats and highly processed stuff all the time anyway. That's not healthy anyway. So that's the best answer I can give you, and I hope it's helpful. Please stay tuned, and I will be answering some more questions soon. Be well.